have to ask, what was it about Motley Crue that their unique story that you kind of attached to?
Well, it was funny because when I was making Jackass, the first Jackass movie, and that's when that book came out, and we were all handing it to each other, like, you gotta read this book, it's crazy. And not really realizing then that our stories are so similar, like that there's so much fun and craziness, but there's also a lot of tragedy and there's addiction.
Sure.
I've gone through a very similar, just being involved with a little family, a crazy dysfunctional family, similar to that's why I wanted to tell the story and tell it right. Like I wasn't a Motley Crue super fan. You know, I like Motley Crue.
Sure.
But I was not a super fan. I wanted to tell the story because I feel like I went through this and I get it. And I was an 80s kid, and I wanted to tell the story right and not make it feel like a parody and a joke, you know?
Well, it's funny that you brought up Jackass, because I was going to ask, how did that experience help you kind of do this?
I don't know how much it helped me do this. Like, I guess the success of Jackass helped me do this because, yeah. But I guess living through this and you know, through doing Jackass, I did become a filmmaker.
Well, also, I mean, there are kind of a lot of similarities between, I guess, because the Jackass crew is crazy, and so is the Motley Crue crew.
Right.
Obviously, they're crazy. But why do you think it was the right time to do a Motley Crue biopic now?
Well, I've been trying to, like, now it just happened. Like, to me, I've been trying to get this movie made. I've been attached to this movie for 8 years. And I would have happily made it 8 years ago. But it took this long to make it. So here we are. And but we, you know, we're just telling this true story
Sure.
that's in this book. I'm not trying to look at it through any other lens than this happened and this is the...
I mean, that's one thing, is you don't shy away from the success or the transgressions that anybody really has. I mean, it's there front and center. Now, talking to the band and talking to them about that experience, how did you want to keep that as authentic as possible when you were doing those kind of scenes and that kind of stuff?
Well, they put out this book. They put all those stories out there and told it as honestly. I mean, they were open books.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, having put that book out, I'm like, let's just capture this, like the spirit and the voice, the individual voices in this. I wanted to capture that. When I read that book, it was so magical that each guy has their own voice, and they sometimes contradict each other in their stories. And I wanted to make sure this movie felt like that. So we tried to infuse that into this movie.
Were there any stories from that book that you wanted to put in the film but didn't quite make it?
I mean, yeah, like I can't rattle off even one specific one. The big ones are all in this movie to me, but there was endless mayhem that I would have loved to.
Sure. I can only imagine. Right?
So.
What do you think future generations can take away from the success and some of the transgressions that these guys had?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think these guys are role models by any means, but I think their music will live forever. Like I told you, I wasn't a super fan going into this, but like, you know, when you make something like this, you have to listen to those songs so many damn times that you get sick of them. But their music, it would get better and better. I'm like, oh man, now I'm a super fan.
Now you're a super fan?
I am. Like this music is timeless.
If you were to relate yourself to, or put yourself in, or relate the most to any one of the Motley Crue guys, which one do you think it calls out to you the most?
Well, that's hard to say. Like, I like Nicky a lot. He's been very helpful to me in getting this made and just been a really good voice. But Tommy is like I love Tommy. Like, he feels like one of the Jackass guys, like the most like one of the Jackass guys. I like them all. They've all been very helpful in their own ways.
Because even after watching this, I didn't know much about Mick, and I felt like, oh man, this guy is talented,
Mick
right?
is so kick-ass too. Like, so I helped. They shot a concert film in 2015. And they asked me if I'd do the behind the scenes, so do just all the band interviews and that kind of stuff. So I went and I was hanging out with Mick, and I was like, hey, will you just show us your guitars, like how you keep it all when you're getting ready to go on stage? And he just showed us his little guitar closet on the side of the stage. Then he grabbed one of the guitars and he plugged in, got out on stage. This is at the Honda Center in Anaheim. And just plugged in, and I just started calling out songs, and he just started riffing them. The dude is, you know, he just really slow-mo. His fingers are just like, oh my God, I just want to see this. It's fantastic.